So I've got a little game for you. Dromai versus Dori. My opponent is Shin Inoue, who also managed to top 4 a battle hardened with Dori. So this is looking to be a very interesting matchup at least. Honestly, my initial plan was just the classic Dromai, just block fatigue kind of plan. But in the end, I kind of had to pivot sometimes, so it's gonna be quite an interesting game. Obviously, I forgot to record audio, so here I am commentating again on one of my blocking games. And turn 1 they just open an energy potion. I'm fine with that. We pitch Dracona Optimai because it's not very useful. We get some Ash. Set up a little bit. I don't think we want to make too many dragons because they would be able to farm them with the Dawnblade. But I'm not super sure about this matchup, so it's a little bit weird. We get a defense protection arsenal, which is great. And we head into Dori's turn. She clears Azvolai, Rip Az, and gives it go again. And now we are forced to block a hit for 5 at least, or 7 now even. So the cool thing about Dori is that her hero power triggers off of hitting allies. So in that sense, people thought it would be a really bad matchup, but I honestly didn't feel like it was that bad of a matchup. So we block 7 here. We already know it has go again, and we weren't anticipating a follow-up after this, and then they suddenly play Erase Space afterwards, and we're like, oh, okay, I guess that happened. So we pass turn back again. Yeah, I didn't expect that. But the Erase Space also didn't really do much because like we didn't have go again anyway, right? So we didn't have dragons. Actually, does Erase Face even do anything to Dromai? I don't feel like it does. Okay. Yeah, so we just block it minimally. Because we had a sink below afterwards, and we wanted to develop some embers, some dragons. And this is a little bit risky because like Dromai Dori could they pop it. Yeah, so Dromai could technically sorry, I lost the train of thought. Oh yeah, so Dori could technically farm my dragons a little bit, but it's okay. If she wants to waste a turn on like clearing 2 small dragons, that's fine. Warrior Feather going face. So usually when blocking against Dori, I try to block Xaxes when I have a direct ready, and I try to block 3 over basically for whenever I do not have a direct ready. So that's might or might not be very obvious for him. But we had a direct, so we could block less heavily. You can also see that whenever I use a direct, I also just use the Flamescale Furnace to just pitch my last card away because it's like not gonna be very useful. This is just a CNC, so we can actually develop a little bit more. Got a new Ash, got a new Dragon, got a new face down card. And actually hit a bunch, and we can actually see that like I'm constantly ahead in life because they really don't care about my damage and prefer keeping their 5-card hands. So my Fyendal's Fighting Spirit that I teched in because I thought like I was also I thought it would always be lower in life in general as a fatigue deck, but I'm just not. So it just never heals life. So that's a little bit frustrating. So here's the glistening turn. And since we have a direct in Arsenal, we can block this semi-exactly. Yeah, there's the Iron Renaissance response. So we need to use the Sync here. We hope in the late game our Fyendal's Fighting Spirit will actually do something. There's the Singing Steel Blade. And another nice trick that we have is we have Quell, which we can choose to pop after reactions. So right now it's 258. He's at 9 and I'm at 10. And goes up to 12. Wait, goes up to 12? Why would I use Silken from them? Huh? Am I miscounting? Oh no, wait, listening doesn't buff too. Right, yeah, okay, yeah. So good now. So it went up to 11, I think. Yeah, and now he's farming some of my dragons for coppers. And we're going to see another really interesting interaction with the dragons in a little bit. Here we just this game was a little bit laggy, so sometimes you'll just see me try and do things that are not really working. But I make a Yendurai. I figured maybe this would be able to block out like a Dawnblade, and it wouldn't count as hit because the endurance counter tanked it all. But if they buff it up to 6, they can still make it hit anyway. So just a little bit better than generic Miragai or whatever. This is a pretty defensive hand, so hopefully they'll attack a little bit here. Another Glistening Steelblade. One thing to notice is that Glistening Steelblade does not trigger on the allies, but Dorinthea's ability does. And it still has Go Again anyway because of unconditional Go Again, but being like not needing to worry about a Glistening Steelblade in the near future is big, is really big for us. Overpower, I think, makes it goes up to, what is it, 9? So now we're forced to block with both of our D-Rex, which we're not that happy about. But it's okay, I guess. Could be better, could be worse. And now we get to hit for 3. And as you can see, Dori's already at 22, so it feels like in this game we don't even need to go for like a fatigue kind of matchup. And you also see that in his grave there's like I think there's a lot less cards in his grave than in my grave. And I think our deck sizes are pretty similar at the moment, so like slowly but surely I'm like trying to figure out like if is the fatigue plan even viable in this matchup? Is it ever possible to fatigue Dori? I don't even know. Especially because of all the overblocks, and like at some point I run out of D-reacts. So I was kind of worrying a little bit about how this would turn out. And since he's already taking a lot of damage just because like it's not threatening much, I'm feeling pretty confident in that. Ooh. I don't remember if Steelblade Supremacy draws off of an ally. Anyway, I don't feel pretty confident that I can fatigue him, but I do feel like damage might be a win con here. So we see him attack our Yendurai, and we make sure to read whether or not he gets the draw and whether or not he gets the coppers. And I think he gets both. So, as well as Dorinthea, as well as the potential Dawnblade trigger later. So that's kind of scary. And now they're thinking whether or not they want to attack another Ashwing or face, I think. Or what's a pitch? I believe Pray for Bracers cannot trigger off of an ally hit. Okay, and he just farms a counter for his Stormblade. So that's a little bit scary, but that basically just means that we have to block him out next turn, so it's not the end of the world. This turn we actually get like a turn where we can play dragons. So we can threaten his life total a little bit. He's already pretty low. And we get Kyloria and Cromai out, so I'm basically just trying to force out cards from his hand. So that he won't be able to keep up his Stormblade counter. And yeah, we attack with Kyloria. And the first thing he says is like, oh, so you're going to steal my ash, huh? My copper, huh? I'm like, fuck. Copper is an item? Not like this. And thanks to Chroma, we actually had pop protection here, so we could play Dustup at the end, so that's pretty nice. And they were forced to block it with their equipments. They still have 3 cards in hand and 1 in the arsenal, so they can always keep up their Dawnblade by killing the Chromai. As long as they have Go Again, of course. But yeah, they pop their Refraction Bolters for Go Again and go face afterwards for 7. I don't think we have a D-reacted already, so I think we're just going to full block everything just to get rid of the counter. Or at least something similar to full blocking. I don't remember exactly what I'm doing. Maybe this is the time for Crown, so that we can play out Rake the Embers, but I hover my hand over my hand and just full block 11. Pray they don't get over it. How much is it? Oh no, it's 1 over. Yeah, okay, 2 counters. Okay, this is getting pretty scary, right? I'm at 35 life though, so I'm in a pretty safe range. But we really need to make sure that the Stormblade is not growing even more. And yeah, as you can see, I'm looking for Twinning Blade. Because like if you overblock this and then a Twinning Blade, you won't be able to block the second hit anymore. So we block exactly because we have a D-react luckily. And they only have an energy potion afterwards. So we got rid of all of the Dawnblade counters, and now we can actually start developing our board again to set some pressure on them. Unfortunately, this is a yellow, so they won't have Go Again at the moment, but we do get to develop a Fate Foreseen and Arsenal. It's not the end of the world to have like 1 hit for 1 less. And continue on. So overall, I feel like this matchup is... It depends a lot on like what strategy you go for, right? Because like probably if Dori ended up farming more Ashwings in the early game, and like farming more counters, and if I would allow them to farm counters on my dragons, it feels like that would be a losing position for me. But in this case, they took a lot of damage already, so it kind of looks winnable from this point on. And like maybe at some point they'll run out of Go Against, but in hindsight, this deck runs a lot of Go Against. So now we have to defend against the second. Oh, that's a big Dawnblade. That's 11, I think. And we have a Sigil that doesn't really block, so I think if we want to block this, we'll be blocking maybe 9 plus Crown or something. Or we just take 11. Okay. I don't remember this, but it must be a strong play, right? We basically just Gen Ash. Hit them for 3. We don't see their hand anymore because of the lag. It's okay though. We'll see the hand when they block. We develop dragons at this point. Yeah, I probably figured like I can't go fatigue anymore at this point, so I had to push some damage through and force cards out of their hand in that way. And blocking 11 was going to be way too hard, right? I'd have to invest like all my hand and like my sink below, so that was the reasoning behind that. This is a hand that can actually cast Dominia. So if they end up clearing like all of my dragons this turn, I will be very happy. But I don't think they're going to allow me to be very happy here. This is just 4. I think I have a sink below in my arsenal. So I could block with the sink below, but the less greedy play is to just block. Okay. I think blocking with Sink Below from Arsenal or Fate Foreseen from Arsenal was also good here, because they wouldn't be able to play stuff like Iron Song Response. But this worked out. We got rid of their... No, we didn't get rid of their Dawnblade counter, but they'll notice soon enough. And we still get another defense reaction in Arsenal. Yeah, okay. There's a Dawnblade counter again. And I'm starting to worry because like I'm already at half deck basically, and it doesn't specifically feel like they're running out of threats here, so it's kind of scary here. They're hitting for 7 now. I need to overblock by an awkward number. I'm only blocking for 1, so obviously there's going to be some kind of D-react here, and it's the Oasis Respite here. We're going to sing over it, and I think also give it Go Again with Glint. Wait, why did I give it Go Again with Glint? Not already 7-8. Interesting. But they don't get their additional attack, and they do get their additional attack. Oh, but they ended up clearing my dragons. This is kind of an interesting situation because, like, I believe Oasis Respite floated like 3 damage prevention on me. So going face would have been incorrect there. But it kind of depends on how I sort things, how I sequence things there. So that was an interesting block. Interesting turn. Wait, did I? It was a good thing that they got Glint in the end, so because it made sure that even though I blocked it with Sand Cover and Oasis Respite, that he would still have Go Again and still would be able to clear another dragon. And he's hitting another dragon with a Seal Blade Supremacy. Yeah, I'm just this lag is like really hard to work with, so I'm just letting him do everything for me now, and slowly we'll see things appear again. But yeah, this is looking to be a pretty strong turn because like you got free Go Again off of Warrior's Valor, you got Steelblade Supremacy in, and threatening another card draw from hitting my face. And I'm not very happy with it, and hopefully I get some cards that block. And I still haven't seen my cards in this hand, so still a little bit scary. But it feels like we're in a game state where we can slowly win through burn them all, actually. And we actually also have it in our hand at the moment. And so we're in a weird position where we kind of don't want to block with the burn them all. I believe my opponent still has 2 cards in hand. So I think this is the time where I just give up my... Oh no. I was setting up my entire thing about not... Oh, I got my burn them all back. Okay. It's all good, it's all good. Oh yeah, and I remembered that I wanted to crown something away. So I got my burn them all back now. And at this point, I kind of wanna... I think I want to play out Burn Them All and Yendurai here. I don't remember if I had another D-React in my arsenal. But being able to have like true or like, yeah, they have Arcanine Skull Cap as Arcane Barrier. But they're at 8 life, so I only need to attack 8 more times with like random Ash Wings to win the game from here. And Burn Them All is such a good win condition in this spot. So I think I'll try to set something up such that either I give them a free draw or something, or I block with all the other cards that I still have available. Yeah. Heavily considering taking, yeah, okay. And I took it so that we can develop Burn Them All, Yendurai, and probably whatever card is in my arsenal. Billowing Mirage. Yeah, so at this point, our opponent is in a position where they pretty much have to start blocking stuff, because otherwise they'll just die to Burn Them All at some point. So whoa, I actually don't develop Yendurai. Interesting. Damn. Okay. Yeah. And we're back into the game. And he just goes face, and I decide to just take it so that I can develop a board of actual dragons. Wait, do I? Oh right, I don't have Ash. Right, it was this turn. Oh no. Yeah, I made a mistake. This is where I also cringed at myself in real life, being like, oh no, I didn't make Ash. I should have blocked something with Footsteps or with Oasis Respite. But instead, I'll have to play out the Fyendal's Fighting Spirit, which is quite okay because it threatens lethal. It forces cards out of their hand. It's definitely not what I wanted to do, but you know, 3 Ash, it's not a bad deal, right? It's not all bad, and you can see me count their go again givers. And we know there's like 1 glistening, 1 warrior's feather probably. I'm looking for more cards that potentially give go again. And they have a popper there, so they actually go down to 2 here, and that must be really scary for them too. Oh, and you can see this hand where I can actually play Dracona Optimai in my 5 blue deck. So I'm a greedy fuck, so I'm very, very likely to take this. And they actually don't have anything else, so why didn't I block more? I'm confused. And this is where I play Dracona Optimai. And the lag prevents me from actually invoking him and actually revealing my 3 cards. So at some point I'll ask my opponent to just flip them over, and I had 3 reds. So this could have been a super epic moment, but it wasn't. And they just died to 6 Arcane off the Dracona Optimai, which is actually the card that I pitched first turn. Didn't realize that in the beginning, but yeah. So we just reached second cycle, and we got there. So overall, really cool game. I think there was a lot of Dromai is about like finding pivotal moments of when you should be blocking and when you should stop blocking and start developing. And like slowly, when you start developing more, you'll block less, but it doesn't feel like you want to take damage to develop more, unlike Prism, right? In which, like, for Prism, you just accept that you're going to eat 15 damage, and then make a board, develop a good board, and from then on, they'll have to clear your auras, and you get like free real estate with like heralds and auras and whatever. But in Dromai, it feels like you just block until they have a bad turn, and then whenever they have a bad turn, or whenever they try to set up a big turn or something like that, you just play a dragon. It's as simple as that. And sometimes, if the fatigue win con doesn't work, you still have enough life to work with, such that you can take some damage to eventually develop some dragons. So I think in this matchup it was correct to mostly block, because like if you focus too much on like development of dragons, you give them free farm. So you basically want to stay low on dragons for a big portion of the game, or like only 1 or 2 dragons maybe, and push damage through in that way. They probably won't want to block that, because they still want to be able to give go again, to A react, all that stuff. So I think the kind of playstyle that I'm still trying out is working out for this specific matchup. Or probably for some other matchups, you'll have to do like a little bit more mid-rangey, like take 6, make a dragon, and maybe at that point they'll have to put all of their cards into removing your dragon, and then you just make more dragons as a response. Basically like how Prism plays against stuff like Guardians. But in the Dori matchup, I think this strategy worked out, and we got to play Dracona Optimai, so I'm very happy. I can finally cut him from my deck now. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I've got a cold foil. I've got 2 cold foil Dromais now, so you'll probably see me play this deck a little bit more. And like, subscribe, and see you guys next time.